to drive a spear through the fornicating couple that were getting it on right in front of the whole congregation. And so Moses failed to act then. Now he's very angry, and he's probably angry at himself. Right. And so he's speaking in this hyperbolic way, just like, go in there and wipe them all out.
Well, he may be speaking in a hyperbolic way, but it wouldn't have been interpreted as hyperbole. And well, it would have been interpreted as a
well, it was never carried out. The Jews did not commit genocide in Canaan. The Jews didn't wipe out the inhabitants. We know both from the textual evidence in the Bible and then from history that the Canaanites hung around and troubled the Jews for many generations. So
right, but it was
never carried out.
Okay, so it wasn't carried out, but there are numerous instances in the Tanakh of commandments to genocide. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Shaul was punished because he let one person survive of some group that he was supposed to commit genocide against. So, I mean, there's no. This text has no qualms with genocide.
Right. It wants to establish a monotheist society in the midst of child sacrifice and just the horrible things going on there, and it makes clear that if the Jews behave like the non-Jews around them, that the Jews too will be vomited out of the land.
Right.
So it's like God has chosen a particular land and a particular people where he wants to do something special, and anything that gets in the way of that needs to be wiped out. So it's kind of hardcore, badass Judaism, which is, that's kind of Judaism. It's a hardcore religion. It's not a namby-pamby.
It's not the tikkun olami.
Yeah. Feel good.
It's not what you get in Reform Temple. And not only that, but it's almost this sense of purity and impurity. It seems like that each surviving members, the reason the commandment to genocide seem that any surviving member is an impurity, kind of, and a potential danger.
Right, potential danger.
So the existence of one is it's like it's a potential infection.
Mm-hmm.
It's very. I mean, there are echoes in the way that Jews were regarded later on in Europe. There are echoes of that. The Jews were regarded as kind of in Germany, as a disease. It's a disease that had to be purged because it was corrupting this pure Aryan culture. So I mean, there are. I hate to invoke Godwin's law, but there are parallels there.
And the Torah never commands us to keep committing genocide. Like the rabbis don't get up in synagogue and say, we need you to wipe out the Muslims. Or,
no. Today it's not.
Yeah, it was like a one-time thing.
Right.
Establishing a monotheist religion 3,200 years ago. And there's been no real echo of it in Jewish history. It's never been something that Jews have felt incumbent upon them in each generation.
Well, Jews have never been in a position have very rarely been in positions of power where genocide was plausible. But the other thing is that I remember after September 11th, as the West started to engage with Islam a little bit more, one of the things we heard a lot of was that Muslims need to come to grips with the inherent violence,
in
the
their
violence
religion.
Inherent in their scripture, which is there.
Right. And which does make the Torah and the New Testament look like a children's book. I mean, the Quran is far more blood-soaked with invocations to slaughter than the Torah. Like, it's a few sections of the Torah that talk about it. The Quran is obsessed with it.
I guess, I mean, I've read different surahs of the Quran over time. Covers a lot of different topics. That's not my recollection, though. I believe you. The Torah is a pretty. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're right about that, but that's not my. I see they both seem to be pretty violent documents to me. But certainly it's been a more prominent part of Muslim history than it has for Jews. But again, Jews have never, Jews haven't had the opportunity very often to haven't been the dominant power.
Right. It's easy when you're a tiny minority to
Right, yeah, to not commit genocide. It's the easiest thing in the world when you're a tiny minority not to commit genocide. Yeah. Another thing from this thing that I'm remembering is that it mentions that Og is the leader of one of the groups of people that the Israelites are conquer on the way to the Promised Land.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just struck by that. It says that he's the last of the Nephilim or the Raphaim.
Right.
But and that reminds me of a kind of what I thought of as a Jewish folk tale. I thought that there was a midrash about it or something, where one person other than Noah and his family survived. It was a giant who was hanging onto the back of the ark.
Yeah.
But I assumed that wasn't at all in the text. And this is the first time I've noticed. He's here. That's him. That's Og is
the descendant of the giant that hang on to the ark.
No, it's him. It's actually him.
Oh, it's him.
Yeah, I read it. It's actually him. He's the last surviving. So he did. This was not just a folktale. He did, according to this text, survive the flood. No two ways about it. So there was an additional survivor of the flood. It was Og, this giant.
Interesting. I'm vaguely aware of what you say.
But it's a little odd, just because we always think of Noah as being the only one who.
Right.
We don't think that there was also the giant who held onto the edge of the ark and survived.
Yeah. Why does Og get so little glory?
Yeah, you'd think that's right. You think his passing, his death would be kind of a big moment.
Right.
He was the oldest
creature
in existence. It was Og. He was king of Bashan at this point. I'm trying to think. Were there other parts of the text that you wanted to hit on?
No, I'm pretty dry. But if I'll sit here and drink from your wisdom.
Well, let me look back over
wisdom with antioxidants.
Yes.